Hi, good morning. Is that Lee?
Yep, it's me, Lee.
Hi, Lee. My name's Will. How are you doing today? You okay?
Yep, I'm all right.
Good. So, Lee, whereabouts are you? Where are you living at the moment?
I'm living in Leeds at the moment.
Okay, you Leeds born and bred?
No, of course not. Originally from Malaysia.
From Malaysia. Oh, very
Yeah.
nice. So how long have you been in Leeds for? What takes you to Leeds?
I think I've been in Leeds for the past 20 years. I mean,
Hmm.
had family here. So
Okay.
yeah, still here.
Okay. So settled and happy in Leeds then.
I guess so, yeah, settled. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, what we're doing today, Lee, is this isn't a mediation. This is what we call a MIAM. It stands for Mediation, Information, and Assessment Meeting. So, the purpose of today's meeting is for you to sort of tell me what issues you're experiencing and what outcomes you'd like to achieve. Me to give you a bit of information about the process of mediation and alternative processes, and then ultimately for me to assess whether it's suitable to move forward to mediation if that's what you want to do. Now, it's a voluntary process. You're under no legal obligation to be here, and you can step out any time that you like. Our conversation today and the whole process is confidential. So, what we talk about today is just going to stay between me and you, and the other participant is not going to find out what we discuss. And we don't refer to this meeting if you move forward to mediation. Now, due to the confidential nature, Lee, can you confirm for me that you are on your own, that there's nobody listening to us, and that you are not recording our conversation?
Yeah, I'm alone in my house at the moment.
Okay. And can you confirm for me that you're not recording the conversation?
Yeah, not recording.
Thank you very much. Um, to remind you, Lee, that you're responding to an invitation to come to an assessment meeting, but mediators are impartial, so we don't represent the other participant. The process belongs to everybody in equal amounts, and we refer to it as a self-determining process. So, what does that mean? It means that if you come forward to mediation, the participants decide the outcome, and that means that a mediator has no bearing on the outcome. So, I don't make any decisions regarding your case. Mediation is where a mediator, who is a neutral and independent third party, facilitates a conversation in a constructive manner to help participants try to find their own resolutions to their disputes. Um, to help inform your discussions, I can give you information. I can give you information about the law and about court processes. Please remember that if I do that, I'm not legally advising you. There's a difference between information and advice. And so please check any information that I give you with your legal advisor if that's what you wish to do. There are two exceptions, Lee, to confidentiality that apply to me, however. The first, the most important, is safeguarding. So if I think that anyone's in any danger, then I need to notify the relevant authorities. And then if we talk about finances, it's what we call the Proceeds of Crime and Money Laundering Act. Lee, do you have any questions about what I just said there?
No, I think pretty all right. Pretty clear
Okay.
with that so
So,
far.
quick recap. It's a voluntary process. It's a confidential process. I'm impartial, and the participants decide the outcome.
Let's go.
Okay. So, Lee, can you tell me a little bit about why you've come to mediation today and sort of what's going on at the moment?
I mean, I've been married with my wife, Kirsty. Um, I think met her like almost 20 years ago. But we've separated.
Hmm.
We've separated in like November 2022.
Hmm.
I mean, I want to move on and get a divorce, but kind of spoken to some people's here and there, and it's like we probably should try mediation first.
Hmm.
And I had a look online since I live in Leeds, and you guys popped up, so all right, I might as well have a try. So yeah, separating from my wife, Kirsty, and yeah, just trying to move on from this, really.
Okay. So you got together with Kirsty, so you've been together almost 20 years.
Yeah, yeah, I think married in like 2003, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah, so long.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you separated, did you say November 2022?
Yeah, I think somewhere around there, yeah, 2022.
Okay. And so you've not yet applied for divorce, either of you two?
No, we're just living apart,
Mm.
but we have three children as well. We just want to, I think me and Kirsty, we just want what's best for them as well.
Okay. So you would like to sort of, well, you just said that you want what's best for the children.
Yeah.
Mm. Is that why you're coming to mediation then? Is it to discuss arrangements for the children?
Yeah, I mean, some people have said, yeah, it might as well be a good idea to just try it out
Okay.
since I'm not really talking to Kirsty anyway.
Okay, you're not really talking to Kirsty anyway.
No, no.
No. So, well, could you briefly describe me sort of what things are like between you and Kirsty at the moment?
Right. So I have three kids. So Callie, a girl and two boys. So Callie's a girl, and two younger boys, Macaulay and Oakley.
Mhm.
So I mean, she's just graduated secondary school. I think she's pretty much grown up already. So she's the one. I'm talking to to Callie. We text each other often. So she's the one that's kind of the in between me and Kirsty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
So we've got Kelly, Macaulay, and Oakley, did you say?
yeah. The two boys are younger. Like they're Macaulay's 14 and Oakley's like 6 or 7 years old.
Okay.
So they're quite a bit younger.
And Kelly's 17, did you say?
Yeah,
Okay. So all communication at the moment is going through Kelly.
yeah. I mean, still on quite good terms with her, I think.
Hmm.
So we text each other every now and then.
Okay.
But I haven't really met her for a while in person.
So you haven't met Kelly in person for a while?
No, I haven't met any of the kids
Mm.
for a while. Yeah.
Okay. How long's a while?
Oh, last year, definitely late last year.
Late last year. So
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's almost been a year since you've spent time with any of the children in person.
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. In person, at least. Yeah.
person at least. Okay. Have you had any phone or telephone contact with the children in that time? Other than
I
Kelly,
mean,
that you're in contact with Kelly.
yeah. With the boys, not really. Everything's been through Cali. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Um, well, why don't you tell me a little bit about sort of what the issues are? So why have you not spent time with the children then for almost a year?
I mean, I think part of the reason why Kirsty and I broke up is because we got into a lot of arguments,
Hmm.
and I did have I should probably don't admit it. I had an alcohol problem. I'm working on it. I'm working to you know break myself off the habit, but she's basically, I think, concerned that yeah, I could get very argumentative and very loud
Hmm.
in front of the kids. So I think that's why she's a little bit reluctant to let them see me, I think, in this kind of state.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's got concerns potentially around your use of alcohol.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
That
Uh,
was quite a big issue, yeah.
okay, that was a big issue. That was a big issue during the relationship or following the separation?
Oh, definitely during the relationship, yeah, because at the time I had a pretty stressful job and drinking was kind of part of the whole gig. So
Okay, okay.
unfortunately I did bring it into the relationship and yeah, didn't last long that way.
Right, okay. Well, let's pause that issue for a minute. Tell me a little bit about the job. What job were you doing and are you still doing it?
No, I mean back then I was director of marketing at one of the quite big FTSE 100 companies down in London. But yeah, then shortly afterward transferred to a branch office at Leeds.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean it was hard. The separation, the relationship really took its toll. And yeah, I mean currently don't have that job anymore. I'm freelancing at the moment.
Hmm.
So yeah, just odd jobs here and there.
Okay, so at the moment you're freelancing, and you've left that position, um, which you described as a stressful position.
Yeah, yeah. I think I left like during COVID,
Okay,
probably around like 2020, 2021,
okay,
kind of there. Yeah.
okay. So now you're freelancing. Do you work from home, then?
Yeah, yeah. I'm working from home at the moment.
Okay. So with regards to you stated that you were using alcohol to sort of deal with the stress, etc., and that might have caused some issues there um, between you two. Now, uh, what was happening sort of at home during that time? So when you were drinking, was it because you said that she was concerned? You said something along the lines of things were getting loud or argumentative.
Yeah, I mean, because at the time, we had some issues because at the time she'd just given birth to Oakley.
Mhm.
He was quite a difficult child. We suspected he had some sort of a disability, but I think thankfully I'm not sure if he grew out of it to something, but he seems to be an all right child now. But at the time, it was really stressful. I kind of brought the drinking back from work, so
Mhm.
it wasn't a great time overall.
Okay. And what? How are things with your relationship with alcohol now?
I'm definitely working on it. I'm actually attending a local church group that meets regularly, composed of people from all walks of life. It's actually a pretty good support group, something that to at least keep my mind off it. And I think freelancing odd jobs. I don't have much money at the moment, but it's definitely helped me clear my mind, and I've kind of stopped going off alcohol for at least a year now, I think.
Okay. So you've not drunk for nearly a year,
Yeah, intend to keep it that way too.
and you've got sort of ongoing support with a local church group.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, that sounds very positive.
yeah. I hope so, yeah.
Yeah. And do you feel sort of in a good place at the moment?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's okay at the moment. Just wanna separate from Kirsty. So yeah, but about the kids, we'll see. We'll
Okay.
see what's up with that. You
All
know.
right. Well, let's go back then to the children because we've not really talked about the children very much so far. So, Why don't you tell me a little bit about them, about each of the children? So let's start with your eldest. Tell me about her. So what's Kelly like?
Right. So Kirsty was our, sorry, Kirsty is my wife. Kelly was the eldest. So she's kind of always been the closest to me because she was born first, and it's your first child and everything. So it was quite a happy time for us back then. I did manage to send her to quite an expensive private school, uh, things like that. She's graduated from secondary school now. She's going to take her A levels soon, and she'll be moving off to uni also very soon, I think.
Hmm.
But I think, yeah, when I'm talking a lot with her. She's the one closest to me. And yeah, I feel like my relationship with Kelly is pretty okay, pretty stable at least. We're able to talk to each other. If not in person, at least via, messages and things like that.
Okay. So the communication you have with us going through messages.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's through messaging, and it's more like we never really felt the need to call, or kids these days we don't really do phone calls and things like that. So it's text messages a lot.
Okay. Okay. And well, what about the other two then? So Macaulay.
Right. So Macaulay, he's the middle child. He went to the same, expensive school that Callie did. But now he's 14. I think he's in that kind of in between stage where he's not sure what's going on. I don't even want to say not sure what's going on. I'm pretty sure he knows what's going on, but
Mhm.
he's just really quiet and I mean, as far as my relationship with Macaulay is, I we did share a lot of like really nice moments growing up and things like that, but definitely not as close as I am with Callie. We do talk when we get to meet, but he doesn't text me on his own, and I don't really text him either. But Kelly does try to be now that you mentioned it, she is the mediator in the family,
Okay.
between me and everyone else.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
So Macaulay and Kelly are sort of fairly similar at ages, but of course obviously
Yeah.
a bit younger. So Lee, we've talked about Kelly and Macaulay, but can you tell me a little bit about Oakley?
Yeah. So Oakley's the youngest. He was born in 2019. He's about 6 years old. Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, he was kind of unplanned between me and Kirsty. So, at the point, I think we could sense the marriage was going downhill. It wasn't great. It was a very stressful time for both of us. But I mean, I don't want to put blame on Oakley or whatever, but I think he was quite a big factor in contributing to the breakup. I mean, obviously it was not his fault or anything, but maybe I could have handled it better. But still, I think soon after he was born, the arguments escalated, and we Kirsty and I separated. So yeah, he couldn't. He obviously he didn't manage to attend the same good schools that Kelly and Macaulay managed to. So yeah,
So you mentioned obviously at the time it was stressful at work, etc., and
yeah,
are you suggesting that the having a newborn child kind of added to that stress there, the dynamic in the relationship.
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I think as a result, Kirsty actually moved back to where her parents live, up in Newcastle.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that's where they are now.
Okay. And is everybody, with the children, they're sort of happy, healthy? Have they got any special needs?
No, everyone's all right. Last time I saw them, they were all pretty happy. I mean, I think even Callie can take care of them now. She's a bright girl. She's a good girl. So yeah,
So,
when Kirsty's yeah.
with your sort of, agenda for discussing the child arrangements, what is your agenda? What do you want to address? What are you trying to achieve?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to be able to see them on a regular basis.
Mhm.
Maybe like, definitely not once a year or something. Maybe like even once a week.
Mhm.
Just plan out a schedule where I can see them uh, on a regular basis.
So you'd like to try and formulate regular and consistent arrangements for the children to spend time with you?
Yeah, I mean, I do want Oakley to know his father.
Mhm.
I do want to also, kind of spend time with Macaulay as well. He's kind of at that stage where he really needs, where I feel he does need a father figure in his life. So that is something that I want to discuss as well.
Okay. And have you given any thought as to what that might look like?
Yeah, well, not really, but I have thought about once a week I mean, since I am working from home, I'm freelancing, I'm pretty flexible.
Mhm.
So, but I know Kirsty, she's got a full-time job. I think she's working in one of those call centers at the moment. So
Mhm.
she's not got a lot of free time, but I want her to be able to bring the children around as well.
Mhm. Okay. Um, Now, in mediation, we deal with two subjects primarily, and so under broad umbrella terms, one subject is children and child arrangements, co-parenting issues, and the other, of course, is finances. Now, you've mentioned that you were married for a considerable amount of time, and you've separated in November 2022, and you've not yet filed for divorce. Have you given any consideration to finances or discussing finances?
No, haven't really given much thought to that
Is
because, yeah,
okay. Is
yeah,
that
not really.
is that something that you know about? Do you know about sort of financial arrangements following divorce? Have you had any legal advice?
No, I haven't. I mean, I don't have much anyway. Like most of the money's already gone.
Mhm.
So yeah, I don't think there's much for me at least. I mean, I'm all right at the moment, but no, I haven't given much thought to money simply because there's not much to begin with.
Okay. Is finances something that you'd wish to discuss in mediation?
No, no, not at this stage. I'm on universal credit. I'm barely paying this MIAM as it is. So yeah.
Okay. Well, what I'll do then is I would signpost you to just do a little bit of research on sort of finances with regards to separation and divorce. Even if there aren't any marital assets to discuss, um, there may still be legal implications to link you to financially, even after you divorce. So I suggest that maybe you look at the .government website and do a little bit of googling and perhaps seek some legal advice on that matter. And that's something that can be addressed in mediation as well. But if that's something that you're not really wishing to discuss at this stage, we can pause that and return back to the child arrangements. So With regards to the child arrangements, have you had any legal advice on that aspect?
No, I mean, I don't have a solicitor,
Okay,
but just spoken around, and yeah, just not. I don't think any of the advice was, much good anyway.
okay, not much good anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
No, but you know how it is. It was like casual talks, nothing serious.
hmm Okay. Well, there's information again on the .government website about your parental roles and responsibilities, which you can look at, and the decision of child arrangements, how you may do it inside of the family court or in mediation or alternate means of dispute resolution. Of course, you can always have a Google at that, and I would always signpost participants to obtain independent legal advice at all stages throughout the mediation process. And of course, that will help inform your discussions and decision making as well. So, going back to um, your sort of communication with Kirsty,
Yeah.
just so that I understand it, when was the sort of last time that you had any form of direct contact communication with her?
Yeah, well, late last year when she came down to Leeds,
Okay. Has this sort of
she
been?
came.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, Lee.
Yeah, no, she came down to Leeds.
Okay.
I think she was catching one of those like concerts or something,
Mhm.
and she came down to see me. So I think that was all right.
Okay. Have you attempted to have any sort of direct communication with her over the last year?
I mean, I've asked Kelly if Kirsty wants to speak with me, and it's always been a flat no. So yeah, everything's been to Kelly. So I've kind of given up on that on that point. But
Mhm.
Kelly keeps me updated anyway. So I think for now I have to be content with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, what do you think the impact of sort of facilitating the communication is on Kelly?
I mean, she's I think she might make a good mediator herself, but I don't know. I really don't know. She's a good grown-up girl, but I think hearing that Kirsty and I will be forever separated might be quite heavy for her.
Mm, okay. Um, well, why is it that there seems to be an issue with communicating directly between you and Kirsty?
I mean, I'll be honest, it's probably the my past behavior um, that's made Kirsty a bit afraid of me. I'll be honest, but I've never hurt anyone. I've only ever been very loud. I'll admit, but I've never hurt anyone. I've never hit anybody. It was I don't know. It was yeah, not a good look on my part, but maybe that.
So what I'm going to do there is I'm just going to make a pause so that I can select
Okay.
the defined section. Okay. So now I'll just
Yeah.
go on to the safeguarding concern. So
Okay.
you mentioned there, Lee, that you feel that Kirsty may be afraid of you. Uh,
Yeah.
can you just expand on that a little? Why do you think that is?
I mean, there was this quite a few episodes where I came home, drunk and reeking of alcohol. I just like shouted at Kirsty, shouted, and I broke some furniture at home. But I never hurt anyone. I broke furniture. I mean, the police were called, but ultimately, no charges were filed. I wasn't arrested. But I think as a result of that, she's been kind of wary
Okay.
of bringing the children near me, I think. But honestly, I've never hurt anyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that sounds like occasionally there were some sort of heated arguments.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that was, did that happen? You described an incident there where the police were called and attended, and you said that there was no further action taken. Was that an isolated incident? Or
Yeah, I mean, it was just one time, but I think it shook Kirsty quite quite a bit,
okay.
you know,
Uh,
because it's within, yeah,
well, tell me a little bit about typically, on the
yeah.
whole, when you and Kirsty had disagreements, what would typically happen?
I mean, it would now that I'm thinking about it, it really would be the smallest things that set me off, like Oakley just crying or just something out of place at home. It just set me off, and now that I'm looking back, it just set me off for no reason. So yeah, and things would just escalate from there.
So you described how sort of things would set you off potentially, and then things would escalate. Does that mean when you say things would escalate, what do you mean by that? So it would progress into an argument?
Yeah, I mean, like I would shout, Kirsty would shout,
Mhm.
sometimes even Callie would join in, but yeah, not it wasn't great. It probably at the peak of it, it probably happened like almost every week.
Almost every week.
Yeah.
And were there sort of any incidents um, where you felt concerned for your safety or Kelly's safety, for example?
No, no. Callie, Kirsty maybe, but not for me.
Okay, so when you say Kirsty, maybe what do you?
I don't know, because she was the one who called the police.
Okay, so you feel like she may have been scared for her safety.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, but you've sort of said a number of times that you never hurt anyone. So none of these incidents ever sort of escalated into any sort of physical confrontation.
No, no, never.
Never.
Yeah.
Um, and have you ever felt sort of pressured into agreeing things for the fear of sort of negative repercussions, whether that
Uh,
be, you know, physical or just to avoid arguments from escalating or anything like that?
no, no, no. I mean, the argument, honestly, it would be just us tiring ourselves out shouting, and
Mhm.
eventually we would just. I mean, I would sleep in the living room. She'd obviously get to bed. So
Okay.
yeah.
Well, do you sort of have any, is there anything you're worried about in terms of mediation?
I don't know. Um, Costing would be one. I mean, I'm on the I think like the kind of voucher scheme thing,
Mhm.
but just concerned what will happen once the voucher runs out.
Okay. So, well, I'll explain the financial side of things in a short while. But um, in terms of any concerns about aggravating any situation or potentially putting fuel on the fire or escalating any conflict, or whether you may feel uncomfortable in participating in any way, shape, or form, is there anything that you're concerned about there?
No, I mean, I think it would be good for me to meet Kirsty.
Mhm.
I mean, even without Callie around, it would be good for us to meet, you know.
Okay. So, well, while we're on that subject, then I might as well tell you a little bit about how we do mediation. There are a few different ways. There's obviously meeting in person, so that would be attending a meeting physically together. Now, and then there is online. Now, within those two options, in person or online, there is two further options. There is what we call face-to-face, which is where, whether you're in person or online, the two of you are talking directly to each other with a mediator present. So the mediator is with you. So imagine we're online right now, and she's here with us, and we're having a conversation, a three-way conversation. So you two are talking directly to each other, and a mediator is present facilitating that conversation. That can happen in person or online. Or there's another option available where you don't speak to each other directly. So you take it in turns to speak to the mediator. So sort of 15-minute segments. For example, you would talk to me, and then I would then talk to her and relay that information, and we would go back and forth like this. Now, there are advantages and disadvantages to all formats. Okay, so these need to be considered as to which method you would prefer. So for a start, the convenience of online mediation is certainly a strong advantage. One of the disadvantages to online mediation is it may be slightly more difficult to read the room, as it were, to look at how the other person is responding and reacting. So it's a little bit more artificial to meet online. But certainly it's more convenient to meet online. And secondly, if you do feel apprehensive or nervous in any way, meeting online may be something you would prefer to do because then you're not in the same physical environment as the other person. Now, this goes along with the methods of whether you want to talk face to face or via the shuttle format. Via shuttle format, very useful if you don't feel particularly comfortable speaking directly to the person, or you feel that you don't react very well under pressure, or you feel that, perhaps a little bit apprehensive or anxious, etc., then you may choose to not speak directly with the other person. However, there is a disadvantage to not speaking directly with the other person. First obvious one is that it does take longer, and also it's difficult to have healthy communication when you're communicating through another person. But of course, if communication is an issue, then sometimes it's more helpful to do it separately.
Yeah.
Based on what I've said there, do you have any comments or questions about the different methods, and do you have a preference?
I mean, obviously, my preference would be in person.
Mhm.
But, given that I live in Leeds, she lives in Newcastle, probably online might be more convenient for both of us.
Mhm.
But, I'm just flexible in any way, really.
Okay. So you're sort of a little bit open. You would prefer in person, but might not be the
Yeah.
difficult logistically under the current circumstances.
Yeah, yeah. We're living in different places, so yeah.
Okay. Okay. Um, so you said that you were concerned a little bit about the finances. So let me explain that to you. Now, there is a funding voucher available. It's £500 to the mediation cost per case. So uh, that would need to be shared jointly between both participants if neither qualifies for legal aid. But of course, if there is a participant receiving legal aid, then the entirety of that voucher is available to the other person. After that voucher is expired, the costs of mediation are 135 per person per hour. Very typically, although I can't say definitively how long mediation will take for you or how much mediation you would need. Mediation very rarely happens in one mediation session, or should I say, a solution is very rarely found in one mediation session. Very typically, the majority of cases that we see, the sweet spot's two, and occasionally three, but very rarely one. Okay, so typically what you find is mediations, it's a process, it's not an event. Your first mediation session, we'd spend time discussing the issues that we were experiencing and potentially developing some options and proposals. But then, of course, time needs to be given for consideration and the digestion of the information given during your first session. And usually participants return for a second session to sort of bring options and proposals and decisions together. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yep. So far, so good.
Okay, all right. So if I recap our session, what you told me is that you would like to come up with some form of consistent arrangements where you spend time with the children, potentially on a weekly basis. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
all right. And at this stage, you're not willing or not wanting to discuss finances.
No, no.
If Kirsty was wishing to discuss finances, is that something you would consider doing?
I mean, if she has something, I guess, but honestly, I got nothing left, so yeah.
Okay.
If it leads to like, just an agreement, a clean break. But honestly, the children are more important to me.
Okay, the children is the most important thing. So, you've also stated that you would prefer to try to mediate in person, but potentially you've identified that online might be the most suitable option. But I take it from what you're saying there, Lee, is that you're content to speak with her directly, face to face, whether it be in person or online.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So, just before I invite you to ask me any questions, I would like to talk to you a little bit about how the children think and feel about things. Um, now, uh, Kelly and Macaulay, they are old enough to speak to a child inclusive mediator. So, as a child gets older, and more mature, they begin to develop a voice and an opinion and have wishes and feelings. Well, of course, they always have wishes and feelings, but the older they get, and the more mature they are, the more that their wishes and feelings is brought into consideration when deciding child arrangements. Um, what do you think Kelly and Macaulay would like to see happen?
Honestly, I think Kelly Kelly still I think she still has those memories of, when we were together. I think at some level she still wants that. Whereas I think Macaulay, I think he's seen too much of me shouting, things like that. So I think yeah, he's probably not one to repeat that. So yeah.
Okay.
Whereas Oakley, yeah, he's still young. Honestly, I wasn't around for a big part of his formative years, so kind of hard for me to tell about Oakley there.
Okay. Well, child inclusive mediation for Oakley wouldn't be appropriate due to his age, but for Kelly and Macaulay certainly would be. Now, just bringing child inclusive mediation to your attention at this stage, as it's something that does exist and can happen. But in order for child inclusive mediation to take place, parents will have needed to have attempted mediation in the first place. And of course, it doesn't determine the outcomes. It's just to help inform your discussions and decision making with regards to whether the children have a voice on anything that's going on. So, just very briefly, what happens in child inclusive mediation is a mediator, especially trained mediator, would speak to the children. It's a confidential conversation. They're not quizzed or asked anything directly about, where would you like to live or anything like that. They're just asked about their views on the situation, how things are going, and if there's anything that they would like the mediator to relay back to you two parents in mediation. And if there is, the mediator would relay that information back to you two in a mediation session. It's not written down, it's done verbally, so there's no record of anything that's been said, and it would be communicated to you exactly how the children have communicated it to the mediator in their voice. Is that something you may consider them doing, or at this stage, is that something that you would prefer just to
I think let me I hesitate. Let me speak to Kirsty about this. Um, I'd also like to know what she thinks, honestly, on this.
well, information would be given about it in more depth, if you do get into mediation, of course, and it becomes relevant. But of course, you can always do a bit of research on that if you want to. So that more or less brings us to a close for our assessment meeting. Are there any questions, though, Lee, that you'd like to ask me at this stage?
No, not particularly, but yeah, I think let's see. Will Kirsty have to do this session as well?
Kirsty's already attended an information assessment meeting, which is why you've been invited
Okay, I see.
to attend. Um, so, what will happen next then, Lee, is uh, I need to complete my assessment, and once that's been done, um, if it's assessed as suitable, then the administration team would be in touch to organise with you the next steps um, to get your first mediation session in place. Now, if mediation is assessed as not suitable, or if indeed either you or Kirsty don't wish to proceed before we get there, then you would need to look at alternate means of dispute resolution, and that may include making an application to the family court. Because you've attended one of these assessment meetings, you are now entitled to a certificate that allows you to make an application to the family court. That certificate is valid for 4 months only from today's date. So you would need to put in your court application in that time. There's information on making court applications on the .government website. You can contact your local court office if you get stuck, speak to Citizens Advice, or of course speak to a solicitor, a local solicitor, if you do some Googling and find one. With that being said, Lee, do you have any other further questions for me before I let you go?
No, no further questions.
Okay, brilliant. So we'll be in touch with the next steps, okay?
All right.
Thank you very much.
So,
Bye-bye.
thanks. Bye.
Okay, then. So that brings us towards the end of our mediation information assessment meeting. So I need to explain to you what the next steps are. The next steps are we will send an invitation to Kirsty to come and attend MIAM. She's got 2 weeks to respond to us. If she doesn't respond or she declines, I'm going to close the case and issue you with a court certificate. That's going to allow you to make a court application, or you can seek an alternative means of dispute resolution, such as arbitration or solicitor-led negotiations. Applications to the family court, you can find out information how to do that on the .government website. You can always speak to Citizens Advice. We have a signposting page on our website, or you can contact a local family solicitor for help there. That certificate will be valid for 4 months, okay, from today's date. So if she doesn't wish to proceed or we can't get in touch with her, then all we can do is issue you with that certificate. And then from there, you can decide what you want to do next. But an option available to you is applying to the family court. If she accepts, we've got to get her in for an assessment meeting. And we'll do the same meeting with her. None of the information that we've discussed today will be shared with her. It will be treated like a brand new meeting. She'll be asked similar questions. And then if she is willing to proceed to go ahead with mediation and the case is assessed as suitable, then we'll be in touch to organise your first mediation session. Do you have any questions about what I've just said there?
No, no questions.
Okay.
All right.
Okay then, Lee. Well, it was very nice to meet you, and hopefully I will see you again soon.
All right.
Okay.
Sure. Thanks.
Hi, Lee. So, I'm not going to say hi, Lee. Sorry. Lee, can you tell me a little bit about why you've approached us, why you're coming to mediation, what issues you're experiencing?
I mean, the issue that I really want to resolve is child arrangements, especially with regards to my 3 children, because I haven't been seeing them in a while, and I'd like to see them more regularly, really.
Okay. So, you'd like to discuss child arrangements?
Yeah. It's something that would, a framework really that would make me.
That little pause and we can cut it there.